Hey, um, middle of the night, about 2 o'clock in the morning, late March 2019. Sleeping schedule is off. Have a new roommate who's suspected of being a perpetrator, who's in another part of this outpatient psychiatric facility, connected with some people on Instagram, other TI. Um, it's a worldwide phenomena, unfortunately. It's nice to hear their voices of such pleasant Christian disposition often. Some of them don't even know they're Christian, don't even use the word, but are like biologically inclined towards pro virtue, anti sin. Christians didn't have a monopoly on that some 2019 years ago. I identify as Buddhist, but it's the same breeding. It's breeding. It's breeding. With these inputs over the last 15 years, a lesser man really would have killed somebody by now. We're living in anger frequencies, and I'm prodded and poked every day, particularly right when I get up. There's a voice like right there, thrown right there. And these perps, they just need to know my address. And then they can bounce off a satellite and he can throw his two-dimensional consciousness right there, and torture me remotely with satanic repeaters and suggesters. And unlike Kevin Christian of Georgia, I don't have a Howard Circle to even point to. I have no idea where to even start finding these people. So I threaten them. Some channeled information, some researched, but this guy's a coward, and it's been about 1,400 of them individually and as a group for 15 years. Some TI call it the program. It's one social institution to me, policing. I specialized in government and study, but was made a targeted individual off the State Board of Higher Ed in my early 20s. What my ancestor accomplished after he served as U.S. president, being as a trustee on a board for a large university. He was at Ohio State University, and he did that in his retirement. I did that in my early 20s, and then the international Satanism found me in my dorm and destroyed my life every day for these last 15 years, so that I couldn't accomplish more with my life on behalf of like Christian financial purposes. Wow, yeah, poor me. It was to help other people. A lot of men at the end of their life end up giving a lot of donations to their universities. The U of O is in the process of a $1 billion charity campaign, and charity is a Christian virtue. Like before, like I used to like work in charity. Is this all starting to ring bells for people? And this guy won't stop exterminating me. And he's sanctioned by the police. He calls it paramilitary. This is federal power. This isn't Kate Brown's state police necessarily doing this. I mean, this guy could be from New Jersey. I have no idea. No clue. Kevin thinks his was given to him by his ex-girlfriend. I distinctly remember when the shit went down. I was in my graduate dorm at the U of O, Moss Street, Eugene. I'd gotten off the State Board of Higher Ed and was studying in a Master's of Public Administration. There was NSA acknowledgement of surveillance then, gang stalking then, like hand signals and shit on campus. I started hearing voices. I started into the psychiatric community um, dealing with some mild abuse as a child compared to what I was about to embark on for the next 15 years by these same people, these same broods, um, these same kind of people that would get involved in human trafficking and other Satanism. And they're real people in other locations. And particularly if it's a second copy of Earth, which is like a hope and a dream I have, they were never hiding. They thought they were. If it's a second copy of Earth, to put like how all the sin is just rendered inert, like everything that the CIA, for example, has ever done in their entire lives is 100% for naught. It's totally mitigated. If it's first Earth, I still know about those black Swiss cheese holes. And I should be able to be telling people about that in a very distributed manner. But this guy wants me dead because he wants to be able to spend the $35 he makes an hour doing that on meth, hookers, and my death. So that's more important to America and the world than me being allowed to teach you how to get out of the black Swiss cheese holes outside of the solar system after death. And there's other people that could help with that too. And this is what it boils down to. I'm slow killed every day. Related to Rutherford B. Hayes, former lawyer, general, governor, state legislator, U.S. president, general in the Union Army. We were trying to free the slaves. I'm trying to free myself as a slave from this stuff. And I haven't quite found success in 15 years. But that's one of my ancestors on my mom's side. Johnny L. Sullivan, heavyweight boxing champ, bare knuckles, and then when they put gloves on as their hands, and the sport's been better ever since. That's an ancestor, and like everybody on my dad's side is related to Charlemagne. And I'm getting exterminated for being good at being good because these people won't get off their headgear machines torturing others, getting paid in time off crimes, prostitution, drugs, you name it, the payola system, the attaboy systems for these people. And that's part of the global Luciferian black magic setup for Earth of what was and what is and what will be. They'll derange over it. They'll do satanic repeaters trying to justify why they're still torturing me. And they're like, well, we still get paid. And that, like, scaled out across all human behavior and all interactions and stuff. Sometimes you get rendered in perspectives that you normally couldn't have as just a normal citizen. But, like, that's the Satanism. But as I've given like discussions about money's a relatively new invention, my understanding is it was when it was first reinvented, likely after civilization restarted in like Rome or like fucking I get the mixed up, Rome or Greece. So money, when they first invented it, they were so worried about it. They made it like a 2-ton shaped boulder within the city limits of Rome. And they're like, that's money. So imagine that is like all of the University of Oregon and the 1 billion in Christian charity donations that they're raising to help the university because, you know, they have to keep charging the tuition so much because the state won't pay for it. So all these, the financial transactions going around throughout the day. So like for the state of Oregon, fuck the rest of the U.S. I was always a state government guy. Okay, so that's money. It's not going anywhere, genius. And so I'm standing figuratively around this same boulder, all of the campus of the U of O. Shit, I used to be in charge of all 7 of them. And I'm like, that's money. What do you want to do now? And this guy's brood, his family line, his manifestation of the human genome, which is not Christian. Shit, this guy's not even fucking real in front of me so I can kill him. He's still there. So what is the root of all evil? $1 billion donation to the U of O, which is like Christian virtue, and a good second prize when Measure 86 failed. That could have been $6 billion for all of them. Like, what's the root of all evil? Like that, or like me not really being that interested in money as a greed thing. It just wasn't in my DNA. Is that the root of all evil? Oh, Timothy, readers of the Bible. That used to be my birth name. No, it's this motherfucker. But he'll say over and over, like, oh, we still get paid. We still get paid. Using a satanic repeater to, like, drive me to kill myself. Not exactly the 18, but little Barack Obama's or whatever here. I'll check the score of the women's basketball game. I fell asleep. Men's, like, just beat the living shit out of the Badgers. I mean, it wasn't just a win, a first round victory in the NCAA tournament. I mean, the Ducks were ranked 12th. The Badgers were ranked 5th. They pwned them. Badgers were lucky they didn't run it up to like a 20-point victory. So what's the root of all evil? This motherfucker and his whole squad. And I asked him if there's like 5 million of them in America. These perpetrators, a lot of them with the access to the tech where they can, just by having my geography, come here, find my R&M, and torture me to suicide in a nut house. It's not the land of the free. It's not the home of the brave. It's the land of the imprisoned by the cowards. Very absolutely 180 literally. And that's the Satanism. Good evening. I would like to say good morning, everybody. Maybe I'll let this video go for a while. So yeah, he's just there delivering satanic repeaters and suggesters. Often very few words. They keep trying to misidentify or identify themselves as older men too, but they all that shit's like misdirection and patsyism. But they're sanctioned by law enforcement. They're the guys that walk around with lethal weapon on their hips, and then the guys, it's see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil for the cops. And they'll throw around words like Mason and this and that, trigger words for organizations and shit people don't understand. But this guy, where he's at in his home, where his consciousness is sunk on this machine, and he's part of this crew that's been torturing me for 15 years, at and after, at moments of death, when that guy really dies, he deserves real Christian hell for torturing people this life. He won't get it. And there's no Christian heaven. You just get memory wiped at the moon. And I'm Buddhist and know to go to my Black Swiss cheese holes, where I think more or less all of us came in through at some point, one way or the other. And that guy will say to T.I., it's Jesus, it's Jehovah, it's Buddha, it's Muhammad, it's the Jewish God, it's this and that. And he's a $35 an hour hooker for goats. He should curse his mom's jagged, broken glass vagina that birthed him, that gave him this genome, where he would be risking, absolutely, particularly if it's second Earth, never-ending torture at and after moments of death for being a torturer of this life and being on behalf of the beast system and not trying to stop it. And that's who thinks he's God. And he'll like remote neural monitor my work and then take credit for it in ways like I don't totally understand, but they've been doing that for 15 years. Philip Walker down the road, who's being a good neighbor, he described the same nano thieving happening to him, some of his work happening, and then they're doing satanic suggesters or repeaters in his head saying, oh, we're now going to pipe this into David Icke's head, so he says it, so fuck you. Part of the Satanism. Getting a little tired. Maybe I'll stop this video at 15 minutes. Yep, the Western Wizard. And this guy's doing the Satanism. I'm just enduring it. I'm not casting any spells. This is an NPA reading the news. but my computer is jammed with adaptive media. This phone, the cable, I don't watch the TV, but they nail the television. I got stingrayed. It even involved my spine. Um, this guy's doing satanic repeaters and suggesters, and I have a new roommate who's a man who wants to be called Seraph, who's already been accused as like using satanic misdirection and being a witch, even being possessed. I've heard it either emanating from it or thrown over its head in a thrown voice, it using satanic repeaters and suggesters. So it's trying, all of the system is trying to bait conflict with another patient too, who could be a perp. If it uses satanic repeaters and suggesters enough, like the staff has already advised, I need you to call me before you beat the living shit out of them. But that's what they, and then I'm in the anger frequencies for the last 72 hours. Yeah, I'm glad the men's basketball team won. Hopefully the women won too. Not quite being down at Matt Knight Arena and having a perp make sure I vomit in the middle of the floor. But that's remote control, from remote control. But that's the plight of tortured TI. Uh-huh. And I'm telling you the truth, but this whole system and stuff has lied to maybe, like, I don't know. It was hard to tell past the canned show or otherwise following me, faked notoriety and the real notoriety. Like at some point I was in Vegas. I mean, like, it was being designed around me at the time too. Like faked world fame, just there. It's only gang stalkers, and then it's designed to like make you want to die. It's combat, but there may have been other people that sort of heard my story over those last 3 years, largely through social media. I deleted a lot of the posts, but I want to thank Kevin Christian, Philip Walker, the Instagram group that I found of other TI recently. It's a hard life for us. And this guy's trying to get me to commit suicide because he knows it didn't matter that I like disclosed my location or that I'm trying to form a Buddhist nonprofit here, about those black Swiss cheese holes. They followed me around everywhere I go. It didn't matter that I disclosed my address and stuff like that. This guy already was here. And so in the Kevin Christian analogy, like I'm in my room and, he talks about people perping his body, like raping his exit for waste as a man, perping his ear, the perp chirp, them knowing your thoughts and trying to lie that it's magical when it's like tech. This guy's involved in allegedly like the same group of people was having electromagnetic form orgies or orgies with real children. Just like they were really fucking me with electromagnetic form radiation, skipped my sphincter to the rectum starting in 2013 and then stopped this year. My body is Kevin Christian speculated sold on the internet for rape by this guy who is somehow convincing people even through like the Mockingbird media and shit, and then all the troops they have for gang stalkers, that's Jesus. Like that thing will put an image of Jesus in your head artificially with synthetic telepathy and then rape you as a real man in another location who's like 60 and retired FBI, and then tell you Jesus is raping you. And it's this dude. That's America in 2019. They really did invent Satan. It's the beast system. I was born one day before the sign of the beast on the Christian calendar that showed up 6606. I didn't really even see it coming. The language of the universe is math. I'm a Christian soul, if those even really exist, Buddhist trained. And you never did a fucking thing for me, federal government. In fact, you're the fusion center Satanists and all this other stuff. They may have that Cascadia plan always on the shelf also if this country falls apart. I've estimated with these tactics and this increased level of tech, it's probably going to be quicker, but within 50 to 75 years, what these people, and they called it community policing then, did to Nazi Germany and the former USSR, I fully expect to repeat in history and this country get torn apart. And I mean literally. Like within 50 to 75 years, you will have a Zugstrieged country because they wouldn't stop Zugstrieging the citizens. 50 to 75 years. And I still know my black Swiss cheese from the geography associated with the House of God when I was a small boy. So 30 to 35 or 35 to 40 years ago during that time in the Middle East. Outside of Taif, outside of Mecca, on a small European compound, me or something bigger took pity on a reoccurring meat suit on a slave planet and was like, he's probably going to want to leave for the last time after this life. Okay, let's give him the info now. And that's been the precognition front-loaded. How the fuck do you get out of here? Experience of my life, particularly the last couple of years. Wes Penry can corroborate the info too, by the way, and many others. It's not just in my imagination.